Jesus is still up in the mountain praying. Now, you got to understand that when they finished the work of feeding the multitude and sending them away, it was still day, probably mid-afternoon. But we understand from the reading of the narrative that once they are in the ship and headed for the other side, it's evening. The shadows of darkness are starting to loom. And here they are in the first watch of the night. And the first watch of the night is between 6 p.m. and 9 p.m. And here the storm sets in the first watch of the night. And Jesus didn't do a thing about it. Sometimes it looks like when your trouble first come on you, he doesn't do a thing about it. The first watch of the night turned into the second watch, 9 p.m. until midnight. Jesus still didn't show up. By this time, you would imagine they're saying, Lord, how long am I going to have to endure? How long am I going to have to battle against this storm? But the second watch gave way to the third watch. From midnight until 3 a.m. And Jesus still didn't come to their rescue. He's yet in the mountain. But the one thing you have to understand is that when you read this story from all of the corresponding gospels, you'll get the impression that although Jesus is in the mountain and they are out in the midst of the sea, he is somewhere in the mountain at a vantage point where he can see what's going on out in the middle of the sea. And you got to understand that even though he might not have come to your rescue, he is at a point where he is looking on and he is not ignorant of what you're going through. Oh, I know you'll say that nobody cares and that my friends have deceived me and my loved ones have left me, and here I am battling the odds of life by myself and look like nobody cares. But I want you to know that Jesus is. He's looking on. I think you need to tell about 3 people around you, you don't be discouraged. He is looking at what's happening in your life. Oh, bless the name of the Lord. He was watching. He did not respond in the first watch. He didn't come to see them in the second watch. Didn't even come in the third watch. But the third watch turns into the fourth watch. And the fourth watch of the night is from 3 a.m. until 6 a.m. When I was just a little boy growing up, I heard the old folks say the darkest hour is just before the break of day. And when the storm was at its worst, the wind had become boisterous and the waters dashing in the boat looked like there was no hope. And all of a sudden, when the hope appears, even the hope is scary. For here comes Jesus doing something that no man had ever been reported as doing. Here comes Jesus doing something that no human is even expected to do. He comes to them walking on the water. Oh my God. And now, not only are they worn out from battling the waves, but now they're absolutely scared. I mean, plain old scared. They look out. Man, do you see? Do you see what I see? There ain't no land around here. That must be, old folks say, a hang. Here is a spirit Sometimes when the Lord sends you your help, you get scared of your help. Somebody shows up that's able to help you in the job where you're working, and first thing you scared of, they brought them in here to take my job. Sometimes all God's doing is giving you some help. And you got to understand that when God gives you anything, you don't have to walk around in fear, always afraid that everything is against you and everything is going to tear you down. Here comes their help, and they're scared of their help until after a while, somebody said, oh, I recognize that form. That's not a disembodied spirit. That's Jesus. And when the disciples agreed, Peter, who was always a little bit skeptical and a little bit quick to speak, he hollered out and said, Master, if it's you, bid me come to you walking on the water. Now here is a bold statement. Lord, I know you can do it. But if you can do it, I know the power that you've got. Demonstrate some of that power and let me do what you do. Jesus said that if you believe on me, the works that I do, you'll do. And you'll even do greater, meaning you'll do more of what I'm doing. Because I can't be here long. I'm going back to the Father. But if you believe on me, I'll let you do it. And you'll do even greater, numerically speaking. Peter said, let me come. And look at what Jesus does. He doesn't do anything but spread his word out like a magic carpet on the sea and simply says, come. Some of us are waiting on the Lord to come down here and literally grip us and put us over here and put us over there. But he's given us something that's powerful enough for you to get to wherever you need to get. He's given us his word. If you've got enough faith to step out on his word, I declare you can walk in areas that seem to be impossible. Look at Peter. He steps out of the boat. I heard somebody say the boat represented the comfort zone. Even though they were in a storm, they were still in a comfort zone. Sometimes the Lord insists you got to get out of your comfort zone. Hallelujah. He stepped out of his comfort zone, and I don't believe that he really stepped on the wave. I believe he stepped on the word. Jesus said, come, and I'm going to stand on the word. And he had two things in his favor. He had his feet on the word, and he had his eyes planted on Jesus. Tell somebody, fix your eyes on Jesus and plant your feet on the word, and impossible things will become possible. I'm going to move from that. But you got to get that one. Look at somebody again and tell them, keep your feet planted on the word and keep your eyes on Jesus. And even the impossible will become possible. Hallelujah. As long as he kept his eyes on Jesus and kept his feet on the word, he was able to walk even with the waves jumping. But, see, this is the nature of your enemy. This is the nature of trouble. It has a tendency to make you take your eyes off of Jesus. The wind. Now it'd been whipping. It had been blowing, evidently with a steady gait. But all of a sudden, Peter hears the whistling of a sudden gust of wind that must have been different to what he'd been hearing all night. And the Bible said when he saw the wind was boisterous. In other words, when the wind began to whip by his ear, he took his eye off Jesus and tried to look at the wind. You got to watch it when people are telling you, honey, you can't do this. You can't do that. And here you are doing it all the time. You can't support a family with that little bit of money. And you've been doing it for so many years. You can't do this and you can't do that. And the next thing you know, you start thinking about what they said. And you take your eyes off of Jesus, the one who is able to take a little bit and little become much in his hand. When you take your eyes off of him and trouble begins to look bigger than it really is. When you take your eyes off of him and the next thing your feet slide off of his word, the only thing that will happen is that you will do like Peter. The Bible said beginning, and I like the word beginning. He didn't wait until the water got up around his waist. He didn't wait till the water was on his chin. He didn't wait until the water got over his head. But when he felt it moving from his ankle up toward his knee, he said, I'm not going to wait for the outcome, but right now I'm going to call on help from the one who is able, beginning to sink. Somebody in here listening to me, you just beginning. You haven't gone under. But you know it's not like it used to be. I don't feel like I used to. I don't have the money that I used to. Things are not as good as they used to be. I haven't gone under, but I feel myself beginning to sink. You better do like Peter and say, before I slip any further, Lord, save me. Hallelujah. I'm going to quit. But the Bible said, immediately, the Lord didn't let him go no further. But as soon as he had sense enough to cry, the Lord had mercy enough to deliver. Immediately, Jesus stretched forth his hand. Lift your hands up and just say, I feel a lifting.
Prepare yourself now for communion. Go.